Now today we found out that former Arsenal and Chelsea fullback Ashley Cole was inducted into the Premier League Hall of Fame. Benty. This is long overdue and well deserved, isn't it? I think it's fair to say, the greatest left back we've ever seen in this country.
Yeah, I mean, do you know what? Some of the guys that are in the Hall of Fame, and fair play to them, some absolute legends. There are some that I think how they got in before others. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, I think Ashley Cole should have been in there already.
He should have been one. If you're the greatest ever in one position, you should be first in, right?
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Hold on. Have we ever done a show where we've picked the greatest ever Premier League 1-11s? Have we ever done that? Greatest ever Premier League goalkeeper, greatest ever left back.
No, we haven't, but that's a segment we could do.
Oh, that's tomorrow. Maybe we could keep that going. Just pick the left back today and then the right back tomorrow and so on. That's how we make shows, by the way, everyone. It just rolls off like that. Go on.
Because you look at some of the guys in it now. Obviously, the first ones were Thierry was one of the first ones in there, winning. But like, for instance, John Terry, like,
he's not in it yet.
How? Come on.
I don't know.
Like, come on. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's one of those where when people ask the question about who's the greatest centre half in Premier League history, two names always crop up: Rio Ferdinand and John Terry.
Rio's in it,
and he only just recently got in it.
I don't know why.
Don't get it. But for Ashley Cole, I mean, he has been incredible. For me, the greatest, the left backs we've ever produced, the greatest left back to play in Premier League history.
Greatest ever left back?
I mean, there's an argument, but I mean, there's Marcelo was good. Roberto Carlos was very good.
Yeah, but maybe not as defending. I don't remember too much about. I've only seen him in a Brazil shirt, right?
But no,
Real Madrid, yeah, of course.
But no, fair play to him, Ashley Cole. Absolutely brilliant for England as well. Never let England down. Relished the big challenges, the 1v1s. I mean, some of the battles he had with Ronaldo was kind of legendary.
Yeah, they were.
Do you know what I mean? So, fair play to him. I'm glad that he's in there.
Do you know him?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Could you get him in?
I've asked him, but no.
He's coaching, right?
Yeah, I think he's with the 21s as well.
Yeah.
And he was at Everton with Lampard, wasn't he?
That's right. And at Derby. I think didn't he play at Derby?
He played at Derby. But yeah, I'll ask him, but I doubt it.
Okay. Anyway, on the back of that, since he started the trend of fullbacks that want to get forward, we've got a new jingle for this, Joe. No, we haven't. Anyway, we're going to pick our 4 Premier League Mount Rushmores. Now, in case you don't know what that means, Mount Rushmore is, of course, a famous sculpture carved into the side of a mountain of 4 of the most influential American presidents, including, so it's not included, and they are George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln. Who's your favourite out of them 4, Benny?
Abraham Lincoln.
Why? His little beard?
No, there's a political answer I could give to that, but I'll just leave that for
that's dark, isn't it?
Yeah, I'll leave it.
Limey. Shouldn't have asked that. Maybe if we get a stint on Times Radio, you can answer
I'll tell you why, in the break.
Okay, fine. I can guess what it is. Benty and I, on the back of that, we're going to pick our 4 former Premier League players that we feel have had the most influence on the Premier League and everything surrounding it. So we're not picking the best players. We are picking players that took their position to another level. Or made it their own.
Or not even so much
or
that. Or
transformed it.
Or started something.
Yes.
In this country.
Or there's lots of ors going on. Or were the missing piece of a jigsaw.
Yeah.
Okay? They were just different.
Yeah.
I've got 3, because I forgot to put the 4th one down. So while I'm reading out my 3, I'll add the 4th one. Okay? So we'll talk about who we've got and why. And then you lot out there can phone up in a minute. 03717223344. You can get me on Instagram at AndyGosling05 and tell me your 4. So I've gone 4. Eric Cantona's number 1.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, it's Man United heavy. Eric Cantona's number 1, just because he was that missing piece of the jigsaw. He was a genius.
Yeah.
What he did for Leeds was... I was actually watching a documentary this morning, actually, as sad as it is, which is voiced by Eric Cantona, sat on a stage going through the history of Man United. And they talk about what happens when the call was made from Leeds inquiring. I think it was about... I might have got this wrong. I think it was Dennis Irwin. And United went, no. What about Eric Cantona? And then the deal was done for Eric Cantona. Yeah. And it was like, there was uproar amongst Leeds fans because he was such a great player and a fan's favourite. He was only there for a season. But then when he came to Man United, he was that missing piece. He took United not just to the next level, but he was so important for younger players, the Beckhams, the Scholes, the Neville, all coming through to see a genius at work. David Beckham was talking about what it meant for him to see someone like Cantona on the training field. So Cantona is number 1.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to go? Should I go all 4 or you go number 1?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thierry Henry.
This is
Hold on, Mr. Man United over there.
Yeah, okay.
Like, just superstar.
By the way, can I say I'm loving this? This is great. Yeah.
Absolute superstar Thierry Henry. I know there'd been greats before, and one of them might be on the list who came before Thierry when it comes to Arsenal. But the whole va-va-voom, the way that he played, centre forward that drifted out to the left, the game. It almost took Arsenal's profile to another level. Even though it was a huge, and he won a Premier League title before he got there.
Yeah.
He was just somebody that was, when he was on the pitch, you think we've always got a chance here. We've always got a chance with this character. And I'd watched him a little bit before when he was at Juventus, but when he came to Arsenal, it was almost like, okay, why have we signed him? I think we signed him for £12 million.
Juve, right?
Juve. And all of a sudden...
Do you play him on the right?
No, we play him on the left.
On the left.
Right.
But you didn't play him down the middle when he got here?
And then Wenger then transformed him down the middle, and then he started to drift out to the left. But
Can I ask, sorry, do you think Wenger played him down the middle because it wasn't working out for him on the left? Or do you think that's ultimately where he had plans for him?
Yeah, but potentially. I think he just saw the potential in him and thought, you know what? He's better than he's showing. And I remember the goals against Southampton, his first one. Oh my goodness, what a goal. But he is definitely somebody for me who has to be on Mount Rushmore because not only, in my opinion, is he the greatest ever Premier League player, but he just brought so much eyes and attraction to the Premier League as well.
Next up for me is Bex.
Oh my God! Anything else? Anyone Man United or not?
There might be two more. I've got Bex, not just because of what he did on the field, and he was, I think, a genius, right? You know that, the best right-sided. You talk about Ashley Cole, best left back.
Yeah.
I think Beckham is without doubt the best right-sided midfielder England's ever produced. His free kicks are unbelievable. He can put a ball in a sixpence. But also scoring that goal, against Wimbledon was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Just everything about him was fantastic. But he was also a Man United player at exactly the right time because he went on to marry a Spice Girl. He had his blonde hair, then he had it all shaved off. He looked ultra cool. He got all the tattoos. I think he was the first player to take football into that new generation of coolness.
Transformed from not just on the pitch, but someone off the pitch that, hold a second here.
Yeah.
He's almost as famous off the pitch and he is what he does on the pitch.
It was round about the same sort of time that social media was born. And so that transition from a footballer, not just being a footballer, but being a footballer on and off the pitch. I think Bex was the first one to ever do that properly.
You think?
Yeah. At that level, married a pop star, had the looks, had everything, and an amazing right peg. So Bex has gone in number 2.
So my number 2, I'm almost... not so much scratching around for it, but I'm always like, I don't want to put another Arsenal in yet. So I'm going to go a bit of a rogue one, right? So I've gone for Ruud Gullit.
That's a great one.
And the reason why I've gone Ruud Gullit, because I remember the days my dad used to take me to Chelsea where they weren't that great. Let's just put it that way. Like, do you know what I mean? I had a couple of good FA Cup runs and stuff, but...
Yeah, I'm interested to your reasons to why he's in this. Go on.
But he was like, well, see, we know about Gullit before he got to Chelsea, AC Milan and all that.
Yeah.
But he was the very first kind of, I felt like, superstar that I saw that came to the Premier League and I went, oh my goodness, this guy's from a different planet.
Okay.
Like, and when he came to Chelsea...
He wasn't that great at Chelsea, though, right?
I mean, he was good. He was better than you remember.
Okay.
But I remember, I think Glenn Hoddle signed him at Chelsea and he played centre-half. Even though he wasn't centre-half, he was centre-forward.
Was he not a sweeper?
Almost like a sweeper centre-half.
Yeah, okay.
But I remember just thinking, oh my goodness. But even the way that he looked after himself, and apparently the Chelsea players talk about the way he changed the kind of diet requirements and stuff like that. He was just someone who I just thought, oh my goodness gracious. I'd heard about him. I'd seen him playing for AC Milan and the Netherlands, captain, the long dreads.
Yeah.
But he was just someone I went, oh my goodness, I've Chelsea managed to get him. So yeah, I've gone Ruud Gullit. Rogue, but rude.
Okay. We're going to, because we're enjoying this so much, more than I thought we would, and I'm really enjoying it.
I'm sorry, he's almost the start of the revolution, by the way, because then Vialli rocked up,
right.
Zola, all these boys rocked up.
That's a very good point. We'll continue this after the break. So we'll try and fit in best of talkSPORT. If not, we'll carry on with this, all right? So my 2 Mount Rushmores so far are Cantona and Bex, and yours are...
Omri and Ruud Gullit.
Okay. Before the break, we were talking about our Mount Rushmores. This is on the back of Ashley Cole being inducted into the Hall of Fame. And Bentley was saying, and I agreed actually, of course, that he sort of changed the way that the left back or the full back role was. Before that, it was always going up to the halfway line and waiting. But, he all of a sudden had the overlap and crossing and inverted wingers and all that sort of stuff. He was the first of a new generation, changed football, if you like. So we've picked picked 2 so far in our Mount Rushmores of players that have changed the game. I've gone Cantona and Bex. You've gone...
Omri and Ruud Gullit.
Okay, so next up, I've gone for Claude Makelele. Purely because, the main reason being because he had a position named after him. I think anyone, if you're, the Cruyff term, whatever, if you're reinventing football, he did. It wasn't a thing to have a defensive midfielder. It wasn't considered necessarily important.
No.
And he went to Chelsea I think it was at Real Madrid, and won the lot there, and then came to Chelsea. A bit like when you were saying about Ruud Gullit, a superstar turns up, and he was certainly a superstar. But all of a sudden, it was one of those, that light bulb moment where you go, oh, I didn't know you could do this in football. A bit like Pep's reinventing the game constantly. But now of course it's so common that almost all clubs play with at least one holder. If you go Southgate too, but I've gone for Claude Makelele because we haven't really seen it. Kante being another player that plays that role.
Well,
so
I feel Kante was better.
Yeah, but Makelele was first.
Yeah,
right?
of course, I understand that.
So I've put him in. I think he anyone that changes the way football's played and takes it to a new level has to be included.
All right, I've gone arguably Arsenal's second greatest ever player, Dennis Bergkamp. I mean, changed the way
Over Wrighty.
Yeah, changed. And listen, I love Wrighty.
Yeah,
he'd be third.
Okay.
Changed the way the number 10 role was viewed.
There wasn't really a number 10 role,
No,
was there?
He was.
Am I right in saying that?
Yeah, but he was almost a number 10.
Of course he was. Yeah.
Dropped into little pockets. I mean, some of the goals that he scored. I mean, his resume speaks for itself. And just he was somebody again who rocked up to Arsenal and just set standards. I mean, some of the goals. I think it was the 97-98 season. Oh my goodness, he was so good, so good. Dennis Bergkamp, legend.
I'm putting you on the spot here. What's the it was him and Henry predominantly, right?
No, at first it was him and Bergkamp. Bergkamp and Wright, and there was a Nelka.
That's what I was going to ask. So who's his strike partner the most?
I think him and Wright played a lot together.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, a lot together.
How much do you think then of Anelka, Wrighty and Henry's success is down to Bergkamp playing that role just behind them?
Yeah, it was important. I mean, Wrighty obviously scored a lot of goals, and Nelka, he had a season where he was unstoppable. By the way, the year we won the FA Cup and he scored in the final against Newcastle, he was incredible. I think we've done a double that year, actually. League as well. Tony Adams, Everton. We'll talk about that later.
Right.
But Anelka was good. But Henry was somebody who could do it himself. Like this, Dennis Bergkamp was a great player. Unbelievable player.
Yeah, he was.
But Henry could do it himself if he had to.
Yeah. Okay, you got Dennis Bergkamp. We've only got one each left. Last one, I've put a Man City player in. I've gone for their goalkeeper, Ederson, because he has just proved how important it is now for goalkeepers to be good with their feet.
Yeah.
Before that, no one really assumed it was a thing. And now everyone wants an Ederson in their team. It's almost like you can be the world's greatest goalkeeper with your hands, but if you can't play with your feet, you're not getting a game.
Yeah.
Certainly at the top clubs. So he has, again, completely changed how football is played. That's why Man United got rid of David De Gea.
I heard that.
And so I think if you've got anyone, a bit like Claude Makelele, anyone that's changed the way football is played, obviously this is down to Pep, but either way, he has to be one of the four.
My last one is so rogue, it's crazy. Right, but it's what followed him.
Okay.
Right. So my last one is Peter Unlove.
Okay.
Right.
I wasn't expecting that.
And the reason why I've gone for that is because first African player to play in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Right. Now, apparently there was 3 at the time, but he was the first African player to be signed straight from Zimbabwe. So he was obviously an African player. He wasn't born here. He's African. So you look at what come after Peter Unlove.
Yeah.
The likes of Drogba. We might not have seen these players. Drogba, Kanu, the Toure, both Toure brothers.
Yeah.
We've had some unbelievable.
And you think it's because he started playing?
Well, listen, he's the first one that came over.
Someone had to, right?
Someone had to
be the first.
So you look at honestly some of the great African players we've had in this Premier League era. He was the first. So I'm putting him on there. Rogue as anything. I don't care.
I like that. My 4: Cantona, Bex, Claude Makelele, and Ederson.
I've gone Henry, Hullet, Bergkamp, Peter Unlove.
Good. I like that. You can send them in on.
Obviously, I have to explain
text.
The Peter Unlove one because people are probably thinking.
No, I like that.
That's
what we're looking for.
If people switch on now and went, they heard me go, yeah, Peter Unlove, they go, what?
Well, it's their fault because they should have been listening from 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
talkSPORT Drive. Super opinionated sporting debate. Monday to Friday afternoon from 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.